You might know me for my workout videos, but today I'm coming to you with a slightly different format. I will be sharing my 5 best tips to help you shift your mindset so you can achieve a successful and sustainable fat loss. The reason that I believe this video is very important is because unless your mental health is aligned with your physical health, I don't think you can achieve changes that will last lifetime, and that's essentially what we want to do with your fat loss journey. We want to make it something that is change for good, and to be able to do so, I think that these 5 tips are key to achieve that. So without further ado, I'll start with my first tip, which is yes, don't overcomplicate things. When you make the decision that you want to lose some fat, or you want to look at ways to improve your health, or you want to improve your body composition, whatever your goals are related to fat loss, you're very likely to search for information on internet. Well, I mean, you're watching my video, which you have very likely found on the internet. And what might happen when you do that is that you get a lot of information. A lot of it is also contradicting, the advice from one professional to another. There might be on the internet, you will find a lot of people who just were successful in losing their weight to sharing what has worked for them as the only way to do it right. And then it becomes really difficult for you to decide out of all of that pieces of information, which one should I use to start my journey. So you can then become quite overwhelmed, but also get stuck on detail of things. So trying to work out exactly what macros you need to eat, or exactly what type of workout, and what muscle groups you want to focus on. And as much as I think that most of these things got place in your fat loss journey, I definitely don't think it's the beginning of it. I think at the beginning of it, it's all about you trying to do small incremental changes to your lifestyle that are, first of all, sustainable, and second of all, over long haul will lead to to your goals, which on this occasion would be fat loss. So rather than waiting for everything to be perfectly aligned for you to focus on fat loss only, which is never going to be the time. I tell you, when I really started my journey, I was after I gave birth, and I've just started to going back to work, and I could be saying that the right time would be once I'm settled at work, my child is older, but then the time keeps passing by and you're getting further away of where you want to be rather than closer. So instead, I look at my current lifestyle at the time and I thought, well, what is one of the easiest things I can do to get me closer rather than keep me stuck in one place, or even worse, further away from where I want to be long term. For me at the time, it was walking. So whilst I wasn't yet ready to do any high intensity exercise, I had a child who liked to spend some time in pram, and then I thought, well, great, so I'll start, increasing the time I spend outside walking, because I know walking is good for you. It's obviously releasing energy, which is one of the basic things you can do, and it's really simple for me to include that and incorporate that in my daily routine. And I'm not telling you that for you workout is walking is the answer, but what you could do is, rather than trying to change every single thing right at the beginning, pick that 1 or 2 or 3 very simple changes that you can do right now. That could be drinking more water, That could be making sure that you get your protein in, whatever that is, that you can start doing right now. After finishing watching this video, you might say, okay, great, I'm going to do a 10-minute workout, which I wouldn't do normally, but this workout will get me closer to my long-term goals. And as you're progressing your journey, and as these small steps are becoming almost natural to you, you can start looking at tweaking more detail of it. But right at the beginning, just keep it simple and, try to make it enjoyable for yourself. So this leads me onto my second point, which is drop the all or nothing mentality. This is a point that I personally think will resonate with many people, especially if you've been trying to lose weight most of your life. Sometimes you were successful, on the other occasions you weren't, and you kind of end up losing weight and then gaining it back and then losing it again and then putting it on even more, and you kind of always being one of the two extremes. So you either were super healthy or you were completely unhealthy. And the reason for you to be that way is likely to do with how you react to the times where your diet or your workout routine is not perfect. And let's be honest, I can't, in my own personal journey, I can't really recall any weeks where my routine or my diet would be perfect. It's just something that you need to accept, and where you can learn to live with it is how you react to the times where it's not perfect. So let's say that you went out with your friends, you had one too many drinks, and then the next day you wake up and you've got two options. So you can either think, well, I have already had a few drinks, so I might as well carry on with eating, fast food that will make me feel a little bit better. And then Monday comes and you think, well, I've already, screwed the whole weekend, so I might kind of just stay on the route of old habits. Or you had one too many drinks with your friends on Saturday, and then you wake up on Sunday and you think, well, it was great having that drinks. I really, really enjoyed it and it was worth it, but let's now start building back to my new habits, back to my, healthier lifestyle. So I want to go for a fresh, rather than, driving to fast food, I might go for a walk in fresh air to make myself feel better and get into the routine again. And that point where you're making the decision after you've slept is where the real progress happens. This is where the difference is. If your fat loss journey is something short term and you will jump back into that vicious cycle of gaining and losing, or you are making a decision to turn this into a lifestyle, because throughout your life there will be so many occasions where you won't be able to stick to whatever you've planned in your routine to get you to your goals. And it's something that you just need to accept, and you need to strive for that middle ground where, yes, on majority, of your weeks, you will try to get to stick with your routine, to stick with your new habits. But when you slip back to the old ones, just make sure that as soon as you can, get back on the horse and carry on with the new ones. Because, and just to be clear, this is not something that sometimes you slipped for, one night. Sometimes you slipped for a week, and that's okay as well. But make sure that you kind of know when to stop with the old habits and get yourself back to the new one. Because what happens is then, if you say out of 4 weeks, 3 weeks you are fairly sticking with your new routine, and then the 4th week you've kind of derailed yourself and went back to your old habits of not eating the best food and not moving as much as you wanted. But then on Sunday at the end of that week, you can make the decision: is that now time for me to go back to my new habits, which were making me feel really good, and that will get me closer to my overall long-term goals, or am I going to stick with the bad habits, which will just move me further away? So yes, it's just up to you, obviously, but I would highly recommend that you try to find that middle ground where you accept the fact that in your fat loss journey, you will slip. You will slip so many times, and I wouldn't even call it slips, I would just call it life. There are just times and circumstances where your fat loss journey can't take priority, and that's fine. Just make sure that when you're back in that place where you can make a priority again, you're going to do that, rather than just let it slip just one too far. And that's basically it. When people decide that they want to lose weight, often they jump straight into the mode of restriction. So they start thinking, what can I cut out of my diet to make it healthier? What social occasions I need to not attend because they're not aligned with my workout routine, or whatever that is. And I think this is quite an unhealthy place to start your health journey, because from the outset you are setting this negative outlook on you will be, as you embark on your journey, you're actually going to lose quite a bit of your life. And that's something that it's really important that you shift in your mind to be able to stick with this lifestyle in long term. So rather than thinking what I'm going to, what I need to restrict or what I'm going to lose, flip it around and think what I can add to my lifestyle to make it healthier, what I can add to my diet to make it healthier, what workout routine I enjoy that I can add to my day to make it better. And that then means that rather than looking on this new chapter in your life as something quite negative, you do it the opposite way around, and you're thinking, oh, this is actually really exciting. You should feel excited about getting on your fat loss journey. You should feel like this is something that's gonna bring joy to your life. So as I say, one of the key points about making fat loss sustainable is to turn around the mindset of restriction and instead focusing on the positive outcome. So it could be that you're going to start trying new recipes, so you're bringing completely new cookbook in, or you're going to be coming to a new fitness class, which means you're going to meet new people, and it's a different social occasion. So it doesn't necessarily mean that you will be cutting things out of your life. It's more about bringing new things, which over time might be replacing some of the old things. But that's not necessarily a bad thing, because suddenly those new things are becoming your natural way of running your life, and that's where you want to, essentially that's where you want to be. You want to make those new habits part of your absolute natural routine, so you don't even have to think about them, and that's the easiest way to stick with them. And that leads me on. So you've decided that you want to lose weight, and you're thinking that I'll measure the success of my fat loss journey by jumping on a scale once a week, once a day, depending what you decide. And the number that comes up on a scale is the way I measure whether what I'm doing right. And that it's not as easy as that. So whilst I'm definitely not the camp of people who says you should be ditching your scale, because I do think that it has its place in the fat loss journey, but to be a helpful and powerful tool, you need to understand what is the scale telling you. So also you need to get your mindset in a place where if you step on the scale and it doesn't show you the number that you wanted to see, you will understand that that shouldn't be discouraging you from your journey, because so I think to help that, it's quite good to introduce different indicators of success and look at them in a, take the perspective of looking at them all together and thinking, am I getting closer to where I want to be? And some of those indicators could be taking photos, which will tell you how is your body composition changing. It could be performance goals. So, for example, check when you're starting, how many press-ups can you do? And then 6 months down the line, have a look if you can do more, or if you can then do them easily, which means that you have definitely improved your fitness, and that's a good thing. Another thing would be, which is something that I quite like, is looking at your body fat levels. So while scale could be quite a good long-term indicator whether your journey is going in the right direction, it's not just weight. It should be also, looking at your fat and muscle ratio and how is that changing over time. So yes, make sure that you're doing a mix of indicators. And another thing that you need to understand is, in short term, our weight fluctuates, which means that, if you step on it daily, or if you even weekly, you might have a week where your water in your body is lower than it will be next week. So you actually, in the space of 2 weeks, you might be sticking with your health routine, but on the scale, the first week you're actually lighter than a week later. And that's why scale is great in looking at long-term trends. So if in 3-4 months' time your weight is the same as it was at the beginning of the journey, that is an indicator that you might need to look at tweaking your plan or your current health journey slightly. But if we are talking in the space of a couple of weeks or 3 weeks, the chances are that the scale is not telling you basically anything, and it might be better to looking at how has your mood improved, or is your digestion better, because often people who are on a poor diet are likely to experience quite a bad digestion. So if that has improved, that's really good, because that's an indicator that you are doing something right and you are on the right pathway. And when it comes to losing fat and your body composition, again, short term, scale is not going to tell you anything. Long term, it might be an indicator whether you're doing things right or wrong. But overall, make sure that it is not the only thing you're looking at, and you are introducing different measurements to how well is your new health chapter or your fat loss journey doing. And that leads me on to a last point. You need to make your new lifestyle habits to work around your life, rather than making your life work around your lifestyle changes. This point is basically wrapping up everything that we've covered in the 4 previous tips, and it is essentially to say that when you are introducing new, healthier habits in your lifestyle, make sure those are aligned with the kind of person you are, making sure that on the way you're not losing or going against your own personality. So for example, if you are not a runner, don't make yourself run, because in long term it's not going to work. It's not going to help you where you want to be. So it's for another example could be that, for example, myself personally, I really love high intensity training, and I would say objectively it's one of the most efficient ways to lose body fat. However, if you are absolutely hating high intensity training, if you're hating the gym, or if you are hating resistance training, forcing yourself to do so and to enable you to lose weight will not work in long term, because you can't, there is just no way people can stick to things that they are not enjoying and the process they don't enjoy. So basically the point is, make sure that the choices you are making are in line with your personality, and you will be enjoying the process. In the end, I created this video because I really believe that to achieve fat loss once and for all, and to become the best version of yourself, your mind needs to be on board with whatever you've set out for yourself. So whether that's, high intensity workout, which you can find on my channel, and please feel free to use them because they're a passion of mine, and I genuinely believe that if you are into high intensity training, they are absolutely one of the most effective ways to lose body fat. But as I say, unless you aren't on board with your head, it's not going to be something that you can stick with, and that's the ultimate goal, isn't it? We want to break this cycle of losing and gaining, and we want to get in a position where we are healthy, happy, and enjoying our lives to its fullest. So yeah, I hope this video is helping. I would be really grateful if you are sharing your feedback in comments below, and you can find me on Instagram where I'm Barbora Fitness BB. You can in the description you can see my tag, and yeah, share it with anyone who's about to lose their weight and you want to help them to think about how to best do it. Thank you for watching.